I pushed away from the wall.
Not because I wanted to leave, because if I stayed there any longer, I might have forgotten how to move. One step, then another, deeper into the narrow corridor behind the stage. The noise of Arcadia faded behind me, conversations, laughter, music. Everything became quieter, and somehow louder. I could still feel him behind me, not close, not following so tightly that I could hear every step. Just there, close enough to be a choice. I reached the exit door, the cold metal handle pressed against my palm. Then I stopped. Not because I didn't know where I was going, because suddenly I cared whether he came with me. That was new and dangerous. I opened the door. Rain greeted me immediately, heavy, steady, relentless. The city reflected itself in the wet pavement. Streetlights blurred into gold and silver streaks. I stepped outside. The rain soaked through my jacket within seconds, ran down the blindfold, collected at my jaw. I didn't care. I lifted my face toward the night and waited. I told myself I wasn't waiting for him, that I was simply standing in the rain, breathing, thinking, being dramatic. I wasn't fooling anyone. I turned slightly, not enough to look back, just enough to know, just enough to feel. You don't have to. The words died before they were finished, because I heard it. Footsteps. Not leaving, not turning away, coming closer. Mehiel stepped into the rain, without a coat, without hesitation, without giving me a reason to doubt what I already knew. I let out a breath I didn't realize I had been holding, and suddenly, the rain didn't feel cold anymore. This time, he stayed. The rain kept falling. Heavy, steady, relentless, and somehow it made everything feel smaller, quieter. Just him and me. We walked without speaking, not because there was nothing to say, because neither of us wanted to break whatever this was. The city disappeared around us. Streetlights, traffic, voices, all of it faded, until there was only the sound of rain. Then I stopped. A narrow alley, wet stone, dark walls, water collecting in shallow pools beneath our feet. I turned around and found him exactly where I knew he would be. Still there, still choosing to be there. Something inside my chest tightened. Not fear, something worse, something better. I started walking toward him. One step, then another. I should have stopped. I knew that. A normal person would have stopped, left space, created distance, pretended none of this mattered. I didn't, and neither did he. Mehiel didn't move away, not when I came closer, not when the distance became noticeable, not when it became impossible to ignore. His back touched the wall, mine didn't. And suddenly I could hear his breathing, over the rain, over my own heartbeat. I looked at him, really looked at him. The rain in his hair, the water running along his jaw, the way his eyes never left mine. I should have been nervous. Instead, I felt calm, like I had been moving toward this moment for much longer than tonight, much longer than Arcadia. I leaned in slightly, not enough to touch, not enough to assume, just enough to tell the truth. Tell me if you want me to stop. The words barely sounded like my own voice. Soft, careful, real. Mehiel didn't answer immediately. For a second, I thought maybe he would. Then he spoke. Don't go. And suddenly, there was nowhere else I wanted to be.